host, Johnny Zex.
Welcome back to another episode of The Devil's Mic. This is your host, Johnny Zex, and today we're here with Godchill out of Austin, Texas. We're down here in Killeen, Texas. We're up here in Killeen, Texas at the First Cut, our first show we put on, but we're going to go ahead and introduce the guys and what they do in the band.
I'm Driver. I play bass.
Johnny, guitar, vocals.
Reed, I do drums.
I'm Nick, and I play guitar.
Fuck yeah, let's get right into it. So what I wanted to touch on was Monochrome. So y'all started off as Monochrome, and it changed to Godchill back in April earlier this year.
Yeah.
What's up with that name change?
There's a lot of monochromes around.
Got it.
But with the addition of Reed to the band, a lot of things changed with the way we were writing music. Originally with Monochrome, it was just him and I on that album. So there was less creative input from these two guys, and once we added Reed into the band, especially, we just changed direction completely. We started writing like a lot of the stuff y'all heard earlier. Yeah.
We can talk about the music part in a minute, but as far as coming into the band, did you feel like this was a good fit? Is that the reason why you joined? Or?
Yeah, they've been my buddies for a while, and I got all these like requests to join bands, and I knew them and I jammed with them a lot, and I really dug their sound and how crazy all three of them play, and I fell in love with it right off the bat.
It was a good fit, so to speak. And it sounds like you're kind of like a number one draft pick. A lot of these other bands, they're like, oh, we want you on the fucking team, man, on our band,
Something like that.
That's cool. But let's go ahead and talk about how long like you three have been together as far as like the Monochrome going into Godchill.
Well, so with us, it was I was in a thrash band at the time called Civil. Shit was hectic in my life at the time, domestic issues and shit, and I had to get the fuck away from that, And these guys, kind of led me a way out, but we needed a drummer, obviously, because he was playing drums and everything on that record, and at the time we were just kind of filling in live, and then we were like, well, we want to start writing and shit, and Ulysses, which was the former drummer, was like, well, I live on the other side of town, I can't really do this, and so we had to part ways with them, unfortunately. Civil broke up, a lot of crazy stuff happened, so we took a hiatus, and then a couple months later we were like, okay, we got to get back on the grind. We got Reed. A couple months later, we were throwing around names and stuff, and we're like, well, Godchill, like that's a strong. We felt it, and it took a couple days, but we were like, this is what we are, and the Monochrome wasn't fitting. We were going through, and we still are. We're young and coming up, and the turbulence of life is hitting us, and it's like the music portrays that, reflectively, all the shit that we go through day to day, and here we are now, and I wouldn't, I don't know if that answers the question, but I wouldn't rather be in any other position than this one, with these dudes. These are the best musicians I personally have ever played with. I'm, honored to be with these guys, and I'm, here we are now, so it's perfect,
Nice, right on. And it sounds like it in the music, watching your live show, y'all all mesh well. So that's what's the number one thing in a band is that chemistry, and that's what you guys have. So as far as let's go ahead and talk about the music aspect of it. So as far as like Monochrome goes, whenever the Dream came out, kind of had a melancholic sound to it, and I know y'all said y'all were trying to change directions. What was the transition like going into Beyond the Soul, the EP that you released December last year?
Well, I guess it was a lot of our tastes and our interests changing and us growing as people. It was mostly just it like we've been saying, getting with these guys and riding with these guys. We jam all the time. And every time we play, something new comes out, and it's all so different from everything else we make. And I guess, I don't know, it's just getting better as players and getting to know each other, and then because we kind of wrote the EP that came after Dream as we were recording it, so a lot of improvised aspects came out of that, and we just kind of found home within playing that way. And I mean, even like we're about to put out a new EP, and even that is a lot different from the last thing. So we're changing all the time. We don't have a sound yet. We're always changing, man.
Right, and that's natural in a band. I mean, bands change all the time. They don't, well, most bands do. Some stick to that same sound, and it's also good to give someone new to, some people new to hear your fans, kind of catch them off guard a little bit, like, oh, okay, so this is what they're bringing now. Now, as far as like the creative process, I know you said it was kind of like improvised at the time. How did that go as far as like, putting that sound together for Beyond the Soul?
Well, a lot of that, we gave ourselves a lot of deadlines for that, actually. I kind of made the mistake of booking like an EP release show, and we'll call it like advertising it as an EP release, which I feel it was like very mentally taxing. It was so difficult to like just like have that deadline to write. But I feel like in a lot of ways we benefited from that. We learned a lot from that. We learned, one, to not do that again. Right. Two, we just learned a lot about each other in that process. The first track, The Fruit Will Swell, we set all our gear up in his living room, and we just cranked it out. We were all pissed off. We were like screaming, like, we got to do this. We got to finish this. It was either the second or the last song that we recorded, but it was towards the end of that recording process. We just did a live session, and that just sort of came out of us. Like, a lot of that, we kind of like played around with different parts. We rehearsed it a lot differently, but that just came out of us, and I really think that time really like made us evolve to where we're at now. Yeah.
And not only that, but like you said, it goes to show how well you guys have that chemistry together. Instead of breaking down and saying like, fuck this, we're not going to make it in time. Y'all really push through and work together to actually get that out. And, it sounds great. I mean, the first song and the last one, they're 2 parts, long as fuck, but it's really good to listen to, just pop it on. And, I really enjoyed the sound of that latest release. Oh, shit. Oh, no, you're good. So as far, I lost my train of thought. Oh, well, fuck it. No, we're good. Keep going. Now, let's go ahead and talk about tours and shows. So the Texas Two-Step Tour, was that like y'all's first tour? I mean, it was with Combat and Do Your Homework. Shout out to you guys. But was that like y'all's first tour, or?
Yeah, it was our first like mini run. We'd only played like single days, like just here and there, kind of like a little bit far from home, but we really kind of stretched our arms out and we just went for it. We just went for it with what we had,
Definitely getting out there was a huge sort of I guess a kind of a kick in the ass to
it's a reality check
to just get the grind going and to just not stopping, because the year before that we had played like fucking 3 shows, and we had been playing a few shows in that year up until that point, but it like really lit the fire under us to just keep going, and it was an incredible experience, even though it was just like a 4-day thing. It's very short, but it definitely helped us a lot, because I mean we ended up doing a second little one later in that summer, and yeah, man, I guess we have a lot to thank Do Your Homework and Combat for, because they really got that going, and they really helped us out. They were like Combat especially, they were like mentors to us in a lot of ways. We definitely have a lot of people to look up to, which I guess is part of why we feel like we can't ever stop, because I mean, there's so many people out there doing so many great things, and we want to be a part of it, and that kind of made us realize that.
Definitely. Now, as far as touring with them, I mean, he said that, they're kind of like y'all's mentors, and they're kind of helping you guys keep that flame going, so to speak. Any talks of like another tour coming up with them, or?
Oh, it's gonna happen, and whether it be with Combat or Do Your Homework or any number of bands that are, the beautiful people of, Austin. There's so many bands I can't even think of off the top of my head. The bands here and stuff, it's gonna happen, and we want to get, up to Dallas and Oklahoma and out back to my hometown, Midland and West Texas area, because there's just so many places to see within our big ass state. It's bigger than England, and it's crazy. And yeah, man, I know it's gonna happen, but have we really talked about that yet? Like,
We have very vague plans. It's mostly just this route that we've got planned in our head. It's like going up like Dallas, OKC, Lubbock, going out, kind of doing
Like a
that-
big loop.
Yeah, doing that big old loop. We don't have any idea as far as like, because you got a budget, you got to book the shows. We want to find another band to take with us. We haven't really talked about that much yet, but we want to do it. We kind of need to do it. We kind of need to get out of our bubble. I mean, I don't know. There's a million potential tours in our lifetime, and I guess we just don't want to stop and just want to keep going. Yeah.
Just keep it going. And the best way to keep up with that is on social media. So go ahead and give these guys a follow for any tour, music updates, which, by the way, I know you said you're looking to release something here pretty soon, maybe.
Yeah.
Y'all have a date or?
We don't quite have a date, but we just finished today recording his vocal parts and the last of the noise layering. And that, like, I don't know how they felt about it, but for me it was like such like a sigh of relief that okay, we're like one step closer to getting all our new shit out, and we're hoping within like the next month or few weeks or something like that.
Oh, fuck.
We're, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like an announced date or anything, but, we can't wait. It's going to be very soon.
So definitely keep a lookout on that again. Give them a follow at god.shell. Is that correct?
Yeah.
On all social media, and keep up with that. Now, as far as the album or EP itself, what do people have to look forward to as far as this album goes?
Man, extreme heaviness, unrelenting noise. I mean, it'll lift you off your seat for sure. Absolutely.
It'll get the blood flowing and get your head banging, get you on the fucking swing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about.
So, we hope so. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into those songs. Those are our babies.
Yeah, it's your babies. You got to bring them into the world in the right way. So yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys updated on that as well. But again, go ahead and give them a follow at god.shell on all social media and keep up with any tour, show, music updates. And yeah, definitely go check out their shit now on Bandcamp. It's on Bandcamp under Godshell. And you can also get a catch of Monochrome under there as well for the Dream album. So definitely check that out and let us know what you think. But that's all we got for today, man. We appreciate you guys for coming on. And yeah, so that's all we got. You're tuned into the Devil's Mic, and we out.